Trek.
Trek, 1, 2. Turn us
Hello,
both up
Trek
just a
in the
little
Valley.
bit. Trek,
Test,
hello.
test. Hello. Okay,
All right.
yeah, I see us now.
Hi, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek podcast, where myself, Adam Ordal Quinnell, and my co-host,
Hey, what's up? How's it going? It's Al Hirt.
Mr. Al Hirt, get together in the sunny San Fernando Valley, and we recap and discuss an episode of Star Trek, the original series. We give a little commentary on it.
Yeah, we kind of try to put our takes on it, I guess. From this dead horse.
I was going to say, we feel like there aren't enough takes on these. Honestly, that was my impetus for starting this podcast. I went,
no.
There's just not enough takes on Star Trek, the original series on the internet. People really need to know what Al and I... Well, it's like... how I've had it described to me is one of our fans, listeners, said they've always been kind of nervous about watching the original series because it seemed too dated and cheesy, but they have fun.
It is.
But it is, yeah. But they have fun listening to us recap it. So
yeah,
we're
true.
Hopefully we're serving a purpose out there.
No, and it started with you like during the pandemic, right? Watching these, and you got a little obsession with them.
Yes. Ooh,
hey. Tie into today's episode.
A little
here.
segue there. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you though. These are pretty, quote unquote classic, but the plots that come out of them are just like we say. Every episode's so thick, but you can make 2 or 3 movies from like each little plot line that had happened. They
could get it.
Now.
Yeah, there's just so many
It's
things.
insane.
There's so much going on in these, and they always feel like, oftentimes when you say a show feels longer than its running time, it's a criticism. Like it's long and boring, but
no, in this case it's good.
These
they cover
episodes
everything.
are so they're little 52-minute science fiction movies, and during the pandemic when I had the COVID, I found these remastered Star Treks. Well, it's not like they're hiding them, but they're on Paramount Plus, and I had just gotten Paramount Plus, and they're great. So that's what we're here to do. How are you doing, man? How are you liking your new place? You moved out of the valley.
Now near Echo Park. It's pretty good. Just chilling out there, checking out the cafe. There's like fucking hundreds of cafes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Echo Park is a big area. How close is that to MacArthur Park and like Dynasty Typewriter?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, because I was just talking to somebody else who moved into that kind of area. I don't know a lot of... Is that the west side? I don't know a lot of like the geography of it, but it's just south of here, right?
Yeah,
it's like east of Culver a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Los Angeles County is a big place, man.
Yep. It's crazy, though. It's interesting, though.
I used to work in Culver, and I worked a little bit closer to the airport when I was temping a lot. So I drove from here to there every day to commute.
Dang. Yeah, I feel you. That's what I'm doing now. So
I had welcome to the real-ass commute.
yes, I feel that the LA traffic is hitting.
Yeah, I always had about an hour to and from... And I just remember after daylight savings time, when we fall back for daylight savings time, when I wake up, because I wake up early and go to work early, I'm like, oh, I love daylight savings time. There's so much more light now. And then the second I get out of work, I'm like, this fucking sucks. It's too dark.
Yes.
And that's particularly difficult on the commute when I'd be coming back from down south, and it's like 4:30 and it's dark, like it's 9, and you're just in the car for an hour and 20.
Oh, but it feels exhausting, but
we're here living the dream, right?
Yeah,
we're trying to make it as science fiction recap podcasters.
Very niche.
Wouldn't that be sad if this is what we were trying to do? Like,
I don't know. I think we're just doing it for fun, too.
We're doing it for fun.
Chronologically recording this.
Eventually, we're going to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation, and this is all some big experiment. But, like, man, I'm glad we do other stuff.
The movies, too, are actually really good.
I'm excited to talk about those in the break between season 2 and 3. So here we go. So last week, we talked about The Deadly Years.
Oh, yes. The one where they're all old, right?
Yes, they all got old. Spock aged a little bit better than everybody else because of his
Kirk,
Vulcan
too.
blood. Well, I just mean like Kirk lost his mind immediately. Like,
Oh, of course.
I feel like Kirk had early onset whatever that was. Like,
Oh,
I
for
like,
sure.
I feel like
Alzheimer's?
Well, yeah, I don't want to call it that because it's space brain disease.
True,
you
true.
know, like he had space
There's no
dementia.
definition.
But yeah, it felt like his hit harder and faster, and he looked better, but he like immediately lost his mind
And denied it.
He started. He was. Yeah, good episode. I liked it.
I like how they explained the book, at least the compendium that I have. It explained that they all age differently because of their personalities or whatnot.
Ridiculous.
Which, yeah, I was like, that's kind of a dumb cover.
Never
but
would
I
have got
guess.
that. Oh, so Scotty aged fastest
Yeah,
because
'cause
he's just like a derp. Like,
No, it's like something with their genes or something. I forgot what it said. It was in the last episode.
Because Scotty's from Aberdeen, as we talk about in the next episode. Remember the mist, the moors of Aberdeen.
Yeah, God, dude, that episode's so weird. It is pretty good though.
But
anyways,
this
week,
as you laid the groundwork earlier by mentioning my obsession with this show.
Yes.
This episode is titled Obsession, and no, it is not about Cologne. And the air date was December 15th, 1967, so about 6 or 7 years ago to this day. And the synopsis from Paramount Plus, our wizards over at our Paramount Plus synopsis department, came out with, again, another biting, right to the point synopsis. Kirk is determined to hunt down a vampiric entity he failed to destroy in his past. And we're going to start the episode now in the background and jump around. So
this is the one that starts with the pure tritanium.
So I love so yeah, the away team is on a planet and they're looking at a big rock, and Spock says our readings are correct. It's pure tritanium, and Kirk says tritanium 20 times harder than diamond, and Spock says it's actually 21.47. Like he really Spocks him up. He really Spocks him up on it. But then
I don't give a shit, Spock.
but here's what I want to talk. Like, we're going to talk about the mist vampire of it all. We're going to get into that. But the first thing that bonked me over the head about this shit was Kirk says tritanium is 20 times stronger than diamond. He says nothing will cut it. And he says, so Spock, you're going to have to phase her off.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing is going to penetrate this, so Spock, just phase her off a little chunk. And then Spock should have just looked at his phaser and been like, but sir, my phaser is a thing. And you just said nothing will. But then they just phaser it off and he picks it up. And Kirk has to pick it up with little tongs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why does he have to pick it up with little tongs?
I don't know. Maybe it's radioactive or something.
Yeah, so they definitely should have it
doesn't
near
he
their...
smack it?
They should have it at the beginning.
He's like this bad boy.
With the other, because he's holding a rock that looks like clearly the type of, like, at the beginning of this, Kirk is standing there holding a rock, like, and he presses it casually against the tritanium, like, we found it right here.
Yeah.
It's obviously like the foam that you put a fake plant in.
No, and he calls Scotty and says, this is definitely a vein. Bring down a survey ship?
Yeah,
right?
So they're going to send somebody down there to phaser off more of this unbreakable, it's like in Futurama, the unbreakable diamond filament, when Zoidberg's like, I'll cut the unbreakable diamond filament. And so then Kirk picks up the piece with the little tongs. If it's radioactive, he shouldn't have it so close to his groin, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Kirk,
oh my God, it's such a weird
smells
premise.
Something. It reminds me of Ghostbusters when when he smells something and he says everybody listen, do you smell something, do you smell that, or he says it's something like it's great. But so Kirk smells, what does he smell, Al?
He says it's like a sticky heavy honey aroma.
Now, what the fuck is that? Does any listeners
That's
out
your
there,
taste, isn't it? Like, I feel like you'd taste it.
Trek in the Valates. What the fuck does honey smell like? Like, when you get a honey...
That's a lot.
When you get a honey from the store and you get it home, do you crack it open and like give it a big huff? Like, oh yeah, that's
not
some
something you smell,
honey
though, right?
smell.
Immediately.
No,
it's more of like a substance, right?
Yeah, it's weird that he says that, and that's how they
Mix it with
describe
some
it.
brown sugar, soy sauce, some teriyaki.
There you go. Yeah, he could have been like, it smells like teriyaki. It smells like teriyaki beef. And so he smells this honey smell, and he sends the red shirts. The poor red shirts.
Yeah.
He sends them to go investigate, and then we see a mist of some sort, I believe. Yes. So you see these
smoke.
One thing I want to mention is one of these red shirts looks like a fucking marionette puppet. Like the redhead guy.
Yeah.
Like he looks like
It kind of looks like a James Dean imitation, sort of.
Yeah, he looks like what if James Dean was not a marionette puppet but a ventriloquist dummy. It's like
he's like super shiny.
Yeah, and it's like he just looks like he's got a big Irish face on him, I guess.
And it's like his hair's like a hairpiece that just smacks on like a helmet.
Yup. Like a Lego, like Lego hair.
It just snaps on. But it's cool how they have the cloud, though, walk and move. Because they use that footage and rewind it, right, to make sure it's creeping away. But this time it's like creeping in behind the red shirts, and it gets two of them. And the marionette's backing up, right?
The ventriloquist dummy is backing up. He was already told, shoot the thing, because Kirk says shoot a cloud if you see it. He sees a cloud, he doesn't shoot.
Duh.
He then gets choked out, and then Spock and Kirk run over to where the red shirts were. Two of them are gray, like they are. They have been exsanguinated. Their blood has been removed.
Ooh.
And then the guy that looked like the ventriloquist dummy, he is just knocked out and in critical condition.
Jeez.
But they must have got. So what? The mist vampire just left a meal on the table, or did the guy shoot? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he was full. I would think he was full. The cloud.
And then after they beam him up, that's when we get to the theme.
Right.
So basically, what's happening is Kirk has been through a situation similar to this in his past.
Well, at this point, he already looks traumatized, right?
Mm-hmm. He is real. He's in the thick.
He's having flashbacks.
He's in the thick of a bad memory, and we get more into that later. So we're clearly getting another Kirk's past episode, and I like those.
Yeah, that is cool.
It kind of reminds me of the Kodos episode. Where Kirk's past was, he was there when he saw Kodos executing people and shit, and he was one of the last few people to see Kodos. Right. One thing that I want
was a good episode.
The one thing that I want to remember to talk about at the end of this is that Kirk never really has to Kirk is the titular obsession.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with killing this monster.
No, what's funny too is about these last couple of episodes, though, we have this theme of what was it? Just Kirk losing his mind every episode, and the Enterprise being like, "Hey, we might have to take over."
Yes, it's been happening for various reasons.
Often.
That Kirk's sanity is called into question. But he never really has to. He's never really taken to task for that in this episode. He ends up just being right, and it's fine. But
by intuition.
But the ticking clock of this episode is we find out that while Kirk is dealing with this phantom from his past that's killing his crew in the present, they were going to go meet with a different ship that has some vaccines for them. Perishable vaccines, and then the Enterprise is going to take those vaccines to the people that need them.
Yeah,
so it's
other planet.
It's time sensitive. They've got to meet the Tycho or whatever that ship they're meeting in.
A Tycho 4?
They're going. That's where they're taking the vaccines to Tycho 4. So they've got about 4 hours to do that, and Kirk's like, "Well, tell them we're going to be a little late." Oh, here he says it right here. 1 second.
Oh no, wait, Tycho 4 is the cloud. That's for later.
Yeah, the vaccines he's transferring are highly perishable. Spock, again, Captain. Those medical supplies are badly needed on the planet Theta 7.
7, yep.
They're expecting us to get them there on time. Now, this becomes a runner. Everybody's reminding Kirk about these vaccines, and he's like, I know about the fucking vaccines. We got to kill this cloud.
What is it? It's the timer thing,
right? Ticking clock.
The ticking clock, sorry.
So now no, you're right.
Timer thing.
So now they have, they've got to figure out, Kirk's got to kill this mist from his past, and then get to the place to get the vaccines to get them to the gamma.
But I mean that becomes like the tail end.
So here's what I want to blow everybody's minds here because I was thinking about this. So they got perishable shit in the future still, right? I guess perishable vaccines, which is fine.
Yeah,
they're perishable. I get it. We went through that with COVID. Mm-hmm. When they open the vaccines, they have to use them.
Right.
Why don't they just store the shit in the pattern buffer? Like, you can store... So, like, for the transporter, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, when you beam something somewhere, it's stored in the pattern buffer. Like, there's two parts of beaming. You put them into the pattern buffer, and then you remove them from the pattern buffer. So they can put stuff in the pattern buffer, and it just lives there until you download it later and like print it out, basically, or transport them out.
I guess if they're things.
Well, and I know they didn't know this is how it works back then. This is all shit from like contemporary Star Trek. But
I was like, you're getting pretty technical with this.
They put stuff in the pattern buffer in Strange New Worlds, though, which takes place
they just
before
leave it
this.
There?
There's a person that's in the pattern buffer for an indeterminate amount of time because they have a
gen episode about that
because they have a disease.
What?
And so they put them in the pattern buffer where they don't age, so their disease doesn't progress, and then they can study how to. I would be putting everything in the pattern buffer. I'd be like, I made a sandwich out of non-replicated perishable ingredients, and I can't finish it. It's too much, and I don't want to just put it in the fridge. So I would put that shit in the pattern buffer, and then it'd come out the next day for lunch. Perfect.
Yeah. Just don't lose that file that can download it, right?
It's just it's just funny that they're like, this is the future. Things are still perishable.
Yeah.
Like this in 1967.
That's a good point.
They didn't envision a future where the measles vaccine doesn't need to be on ice for a certain amount of time. So Kirk is losing it, and he asks to have Ensign Rizzo, who is the redhead, the James Dean puppet-looking motherfucker. Ensign Rizzo is the guy who's unconscious, and he's the survivor. They say
we need him back in consciousness.
He's only at 60% blood, they say.
Yeah.
Basically, dude's only got like 60% blood in him now with this transfusion. Kirk wakes him up. He talks about the mist.
Well, Kirk demands the wake him up.
Yes.
That's like the first bad thing that everybody's like, well, this is kind of ridiculous. Because Bones is like, look, he's barely in and out of consciousness. He's at 60% of his blood is in there. We're not even sure he's going to survive if I give him another injection of this too. So you only really have one shot.
That is
like, all right.
You need more than 60% of your blood. Is basic. And so Kirk, what Kirk wants to know though is he said, "Did you smell it? Did you smell the sickly sweet honey?" In the book, in the novel Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Michael Crichton always I don't know if people will listen to my shit and understand that I'm mispronouncing things on purpose, so I better start explaining that. So Michael Crichton, he described the sickly sweet odor of like dead dinosaurs and shit, or like rotten flesh, and so that's what I think. But then they say honey. It's a sickly sweet honey.
I don't get that.
And then he asks, because what he's concerned about is, did you feel an intelligence? Did it feel alive, Rizzo?
Yeah.
And then Ensign Rizzo falls asleep again. And everybody's reminding Kirk of the perishable stuff. Scotty on the bridge reminds him. We see some great remastered shots.
No, and then he gets on the bridge too, and Uhura's like, Captain, we're getting some communication. He's like, not now. Now's not the time, Uhura. Shut up. And he keeps walking, and it's like, dang, dude.
That's the Federation calling, like, hey, Uhura, can we talk to Kirk? Because, like, they really
have these.
These vaccines are perishable, and Uhura's like, you're putting me in a bad spot here. I fucking told him. You think I'm not telling him? I'm just the communications officer. I tell him. I don't want to tell him.
The captain does what the captain does.
Exactly. So and then the captain calls this, let me see here.
He holds vaccines out of intuition.
This guy's name is Garrick.
Garrick.
Ensign Garrick. So
yes,
Ensign Garrick. Now we find out later.
Garrick, yeah.
The reason Kirk calls this new security officer, Garvik, to the bridge. We find out later is because Kirk served with his daddy.
Well,
11 years ago.
As soon as he gets to the bridge, Garvik, he gets a message from Bones on the bridge, and the health inspector's like, "Hey, Jim, was it Rizzo just died."
Very 1950s
like,
name.
Literally the seconds after you talk to him.
So let's talk about Rizzo for a second.
Yeah,
Rizzo is the name of a character in Greece. And it's like a name from the 50s, 60s, whatever, right?
Interesting.
Rizzo. Now, some people on the show pronounce it Rizzo, like the pronunciation from Greece. Mm-hmm. Some people put a little Italian stink on it, and Uhura pronounced it Rizzo. And so I loved it so much. Uhura.
Oh my gosh.
And Uhura is the communications officer that has all the language experience. So if anybody's going to emphasize the right put the right emphasis on the right syllables, it's going to be her,
No, and also though the best way is how Kirk convinces Garvik to just go with him. He goes, "Hey, Garvik, did you know Rizzo?" Garvik's like, "Yeah, I served with him the first couple of years." And he goes, "You want to take a crack at what got at him?" Like, yeah, let's do it.
Kirk just immediately turns into Kraven the Hunter from the Marvel universe.
Seriously, Kirk's like, let's just fucking shoot it.
Yeah, we're gonna send. And so Kirk go down? So then Kirk says, "Get four men together."
More red shirts.
Yep,
here we go.
And they're such red shirts. So Kirk goes down with 5 completely disposable day players who made probably a pretty good, like, people got paid pretty well back then. So they're looking for, there's one of the things about this entity, this smoke entity, right, is that they think that it can change its molecular makeup. So it can be whatever, it can just be oxygen. And then when it wants to be a solid or whatever, it becomes this dicurium. So Kirk asked Spock and Bones to scan for dicurium because that was an element that was related to this thing the last time he encountered it. And Spock explains dicurium is only in laboratories. Like, it's not a thing that exists.
Yeah, it's something that's, like, produced.
Yes. And so that's strange.
Yeah, it's already creepy.
And he also tells Bones, because Bones is looking into why Rizzo, what happened to the people who died on the planet. And Kirk says, you're going to want to look into the data tapes from the SS Farragut from 11 years ago, because they encountered something like this. And it turns out he was on the Farragut, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he gives, Bones the exact report and the exact date to look up. What was this ship? I forgot.
The Farragut.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Which I think they mentioned many times
before
in Star Trek as one of the early posts for Kirk.
Yeah, he said it was his first post after the Academy. That's why he's so, like, I don't know, tied to this. Okay. And then as you see the 3 red shirts go out.
So we're watching. First off, what a beautiful shot. Look at the really composition. Nice. I love this set. I love the planet set in this. And there's just like the composition of Garvik in the foreground, in the front, and then in the background, the other 2 red shirts. The cloud comes over the edge of one of the rocks and hovers over to the other crewman. Yeah. And then Garvik shoots. Now this is a big part of the episode, right? Yeah. Because this moment right here, so Garvik sees the cloud. He sees the cloud right here. He turns around, sees it, 1001, 1002. Then he pulls and shoots. All right?
That's still, like, that's not too long.
What the fuck, dude? This guy's beating himself up over... because Garvik ends up blaming himself for these crewmen getting killed because he says he hesitated. But when we go back to the tape, we have the luxury of seeing how it happened. And it's real quick. He does a good job. He doesn't even look distressed. He's like, what's going on? Well, that's the thing I'm supposed to shoot.
Yeah, and the way they even knew the cloud was over there was by hearing the phaser shot, so...
Yeah, and then Kirk comes running, and Garevik is just standing stoically, and the two dead guys have gray face.
Yep.
Apparently,
just
when you're exsanguinated and they take all your blood, you're
just pale, I guess,
yes,
gray.
You look like a ghoul. And then so they're dead, and Garevik is now traumatized and going to blame himself. And then Kirk.
They have this hearing, and it's so fucking biased and cursed.
Yeah, so this is just them meeting to talk about what happened, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Kirk kind of... So we find out later that Kirk had a similar experience with the monster.
Right, he keeps alluding to that the whole episode.
To the point where he also saw the thing and hesitated for a second before shooting it. And it cost lives.
And we find out that's why he's so harsh on this guy
exactly.
right now.
And that's because he's really
Garevik, excuse me.
He takes a step back, but they're just basically grilling Garevik about what happened. And the big thing that Kirk is trying to get out of him is, did you feel an intelligence?
Yeah.
And then also Kirk says, at 20 meters, a large hovering thing, and you missed? What the fuck, dude?
I know, and also, I guess the way Kirk keeps thinking that it has intelligence, everybody, is that he finds out that this cloud, right, you like Adam said before, it changes forms. I feel like it's disguising itself from being detected, so it's some sign of intelligence. Yeah.
Well, but is the chameleon intelligent? The chameleon, the animal, is that intelligent?
He eats. Well, he has to look for food.
Yeah, but
he knows when to hide from prey, I guess.
But I think they're talking did you sense that it could read a book or have an idea? Did you sense that the cloud could have an idea?
Yeah.
I feel
they're trying to play with that in the middle.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And
it's so weird.
The leap that they make at the end, and we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But when they're it's going back to fuck or whatever, it's just Jesus Christ. Yes. So Kirk's basically Kirk calls out the delay.
This guy apart though, this Garevik, and he's like, why'd you do that? Get the hell out of here. You're not assigned on any duty.
Yeah, he
go to your quarters.
I think he's a little bit gentler with him than all that, but yes, he's rough on the guy because he's taking it out on himself.
Yeah, and Bones was like, "Damn, Jim, what the hell's wrong with you?"
And I just want Kirk to cut bait and go deliver his medicine.
Yeah,
and then come back. Just go deliver the medicine and come back. They have no reason to believe that the mist won't still be there. And now look, Kirk shows up on the bridge, and Scotty is explaining, "Hey, I got this vent that I just got cleared. We're ready to go.
Yeah,
we're ready to go within a half hour." And Kirk says, "We're not leaving within a half hour." And then Scotty says, "But we've got this perishable medicine." And then Kirk says, "I am tired of my senior officers conspiring against me."
And everybody at the bridge is like, "What?"
Yeah. And then he immediately backpedals.
Yes.
Everybody looks at him when he says conspiring against me. And then he says, "Forgive me. Perhaps I shouldn't have used the word conspire." And Scotty says, "I agree, sir." Yeah. Piece of shit.
Jeez.
So the problem is they can't get it on the scanner readings. Chekhov and his moderately bad wig, it's brown and black, it looks like. He's in the Spock spot looking in the scanner, and they can't find it. He said, "I've scanned 10 times. Kirk says, "You'll scan 100 times. Fuck you."
Yeah, this is the obsession coming out more and more, just this kind of reminds me of, the Star Trek movie, the motion picture, when Kirk just plows through everybody just to get back onto the Enterprise.
That's his deal.
Yeah, he just likes running this.
So...
And his justification's ridiculous. Anyways, Bones and Spock meet up.
Yes, and this is important because whenever Bones and Spock meet without the captain, they're definitely talking about how the captain is not fit for duty.
Yeah, that's the craziest episodes, too.
There has been no reason for these, and
they hate each other, didn't they? Well, they don't hate each other.
Yeah, they love each other.
Hate.
Yes, it's a brotherly love that comes out as giving shit. But basically... there's a good exchange here where Spock says, "I need your advice," and McCoy says, "Then I need a drink," and Spock says, "I don't understand your reasoning." Basically, the security officer's dad, Garavik, was the captain of the Farragut and was killed by the vampire mist on Kirk's first mission 11 years ago. Yeah. And they're saying, maybe Kirk is a little too close to this. And he's Bones has to go through 11 hours of record tapes. Spock says, "I can read a little faster. I'll take a look." But there was 200 people that were killed in that last missed vampire attack on Turok 4. Was it? What was it?
Turok 4, yeah.
Turok, Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Or no, wait, Tycho 4. Tycho.
Yeah, Tycho, like in The Expanse.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Tycho is the space station in The Expanse that the Belters run.
Okay.
Now, so they basically Spock is going to do some studying up on the Farragut, and
it just kind of reveals why Kirk's all tied to this, and he's kind of pondering now on his quarters,
his personal log.
Yes.
Basically, Kirk.
Go ahead.
Kirk is just worried that the past, what he did in the past, is distorting his perception of what's going on in the present. And then Bones comes in to be like, "Look, I am putting together a goddamn." Is this when he says?
Well, yeah, they start they start blaming him for all these indecisions. And they're kind of just leading him on into saying that he's unfit and that he is emotionally tied to this, cloud, and that they're going to have to redo the what is it called?
Well,
they're going to have to take over since he's emotionally unfit.
Yes. Okay. So that's where we're getting to.
That's where Bones is like trying to lead him on and saying his tie with it. That's what I think.
I don't think Bones is trying to lead him on. I think Bones is just trying to find out with these probing questions if his suspicions about Kirk are correct.
True, but also he kind of needs to get it on record too.
Mm-hmm. And he even says you can't blame yourself for what happened on the Farragut, just like Garavik can't blame himself for what's happening now. And Kirk says, "Don't think that our personal relationship is going to protect me from acting like a captain to you, Bones. You're out of your depth here, Bones."
And then Bones, really awkward.
Bones says, "This isn't personal. This is professional. I am preparing a medical log entry about a starship happening on my estimation of the physical and emotional condition of a starship captain."
This reminds me too, though, of what is the other movie? The Bad Robot Star Trek. J. Abrams Star Trek, where they try to trick Spock into being emotionally compromised. Yeah. So they get him to kick him off being the captain of the starship. Mm-hmm. I think that's the first one, I believe.
I can't remember.
The first or the second one.
It might have been the second one before they find Khan and all that.
True.
No, it was the first one.
It was the first one, yeah.
Because
Kirk has to get him emotionally compromised.
Yes, and then...
Mm-hmm. But it's so awkward because, this kind of feels more like, what is it? The lovely years or the elder years? What was the last one? The deadly years.
Deadly years.
And how it's like the deadly years kind of strings out this whole, not prosecution, but this whole
court-martial.
Oh yeah, court-martial, I guess, of them removing Kirk from captain, whereas this one is just kind of laid out, and both Bones and Spock finally comes in and presents their arguments back and forth. This is just really this is what we're talking about when we're saying this episode's full of stuff.
That's the final hit with this, because Bones says, "I'm preparing this report and I need a command level witness," and then the door opens and Spock comes in and it's like, oh shit is real now. Well, Spock is also agreeing. He said, "We have noted in your recent behavior certain items which on the surface seem unusual. We respectfully ask permission to inquire further and blast it. Forget the manual," Kirk says.
Yeah, he breaks the rules
ask
every episode too.
Basically, Kirk is just shut up. Just ask the fucking questions, dude. I'll answer anything you want. And they just keep mentioning these perishable drugs.
Forget the recitation, Spock. I need the facts.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
So Kirk thinks this thing is intelligent, and what I don't understand about all of this is what is the fucking problem? So Kirk...
The problem is just that they need to transport the vaccines.
Yeah,
they want to do that immediately.
I mean, what is
do
Kirk,
that first.
What is Kirk's problem?
Yeah,
they found the thing, put a pin in it. It's either going to be here, or you could go back to the first planet where you saw it, the Tycho 4.
True.
What the hell? And Kirk is just, his mind is blown. He's like, I just can't believe that I would run into the same entity.
Yeah.
1,000 light years away, 11 years later. So that means it's capable of space travel. And Spock
and
says...
this is his lists of ifs, where he's like, if it is the same thing, that means it goes from planet to planet. And that's where it is intelligent.
And this is where Spock starts to see the logic in Kirk's reasoning for staying. Spock is saying, oh, I see. So you're saying that if it's capable of space travel, if this is the same thing 1,000 light years away, then we need to stop it or understand it before it travels to more inhabited worlds nearby.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
he's basically
I guess that's
saying,
his logic.
He's saying, okay, Kirk, so you're saying that the lives that we would lose to the vaccine might be less in your estimation than the lives we'd lose letting this mist vampire get to Rigel 7 or whatever.
Right, and that's basically what they're trying to determine.
A lot of ifs.
But the whole thing, it's funny, though, that Kirk is just trumping all their arguments with just intuition. He's just like, I just believe that this is the monster, and we got to go after it.
He does say that intuition is a valid...
command objective, right?
Yes. Good. Valid, exactly. And Kirk even says, look, I get it. You've done your duty.
He even brings that up in his internal monologue, too, where he's like, everybody on the bridge is questioning my actions, and rightfully so. Like, this does seem really weird. I seem like a lunatic, but I swear to God, this is the same cloud.
So at the end of this exchange, Kirk asked Bones, so what medical report are you going to make now that we've had this conversation? Bones says, my report will remain open.
Yeah, and it's like, this is the gain of trust here, yeah.
What a roller coaster of a scene. Right?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, this scene opens with Kirk just laying on his back in his bed, listening to his own personal log in his head. And then Bones comes in and he's like, I think you might be not fucking fit for command. And then Spock comes in and is like, dude, you might not be fit for command. And then Kirk says, wait, what if it is the same mist vampire and it's going to kill whole planets after this? And they go, okay, you might be fit for command. So all right, we're gonna keep an eye on you. Like it's like when the judge at the trial is himself, like,
so
well, yeah, exactly. When the judge at the trial is like, I'm watching you, counselor. And so they medical arguments
we can
open.
Take care of this, I guess.
And now, did we see Nurse Chapel? Okay, so now the mist leaves the planet.
Right. And it starts to move.
Yeah, the mist moves fast as hell.
Yeah.
So the mist gets off the planet, cut to Scotty saying, we cannot keep this speed. We're going warp 8.
Immediately. No, they're going before warp 5, I think, and then he pushes the warp 6.
Well, no, they come back down to warp 6 at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So they go to warp 8. And basically, here we go.
Oh, yeah,
if we keep up this speed, we'll blow any minute now. Basically, Scotty said they're going warp 8. They can't keep it up. And then Kirk says, take it to warp 6. Because Kirk is like very much assessing his own obsession as he goes. You know,
he doesn't want to die.
He gets right up to the edge, and then he comes back. So
but
this
at least
thing
he's
is
got
fast.
him in the sights too.
So this thing is fast.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, warp 10 is basically the fastest they've ever gone when they're not being propelled by a space entity that's making them go faster.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking fast. Mm-hmm. And then we get a very cute scene, and not cute, but we get a good scene between Nurse Chapel and Ensign Garrovick, where she's like, you got to eat something. He's like, I'm not hungry. And she takes out a data tape and she goes, you know what this is?
Yeah. Right.
She goes, this is your prescription from Dr. McCoy, the ship's surgeon. And his orders are only one word, eat. And then she leaves and he gets up and he's all frustrated. and he takes the top off the food thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he throws it at the wall.
And it was Garvik, right?
Yeah, Garvik. What happens?
He knocks like this little ventilator switch with the lid, and the camera just happens to pan to that vent, and it's like dun 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 dun. You know, it's kind of one of those cheesy hints of like he's gonna regret that later.
Yes, and then
he's angry. It's like his own anger led to his demise, right?
Yeah, he lives,
kind of like
but
poetic.
yes, yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It works against him, right?
It's
all coming together.
It's gonna come back around, and because you imagine, because Scotty said the word vent earlier, so there's something about vents going on,
Yeah,
and now
that's
there's
true.
a smoke monster in space. I bet a smoke monster would like a vent. There's a hilarious joke though.
Hemoglobin in one place.
It's like a lunch pail. It's like a space lunchbox for a mist vampire. Get the fuck out of here. They'd love it. So Nurse Chapel then comes into Bones' office, and she gives him this that data tape she said was the prescription, and he's like, "What's this?" And she's like, "Nothing." And it wasn't actually a prescription. It was just a random data tape. And he goes, "What were you using it for?" And she goes, "Psychology."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she tricked him into eating.
Well, reverse psychology, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Well, actually, no.
No, just regular.
Just regular. Yeah. She should have said, "Don't eat this. You better not eat this."
Straightforward psychology.
Yeah, true. Straightforward.
And now
by force,
the mist slows down to warp 2, and
like,
Kirk is like, "But
weird.
what the fuck? It was outrunning us."
Yeah.
And then
they shoot at it with the phasers, though, or they at least try to,
and nothing happens. And there we go. They fire phasers, then photon torpedoes. And then they watch the mist. He goes, "All vents and hatches are secure, right?" And they go,
like,
"Yes." No, wait. There's one vent that's open. It looks like it was hit by a plate.
Yeah,
it looks like it was hit by a dinner plate cover. And so basically, this is what decides. So Spock and Bones are discussing this new development, and Spock says this thing is intelligent now because it was running away. It then made the decision to slow down and then infiltrate their ship. He said and it came in through event. It's a very considered thing. And I still think that could be instinct. Yeah, but that's what they're saying.
But I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's like there's no way for it to know it can go through the vents, right? It would just like smack itself against the hull and then just like.
But what if part of its instinctive nature is because they say that how it moves is it possibly uses gravitational waves. What if it's like attracted to gravity and they have fake gravity on the ship, so it's like attracted to it or something,
Maybe.
But one
something
thing that
pull it in.
The fucking thing that Spock suggests is, it's in the vents. Let's flush the vents with radioactive waste. and everybody's like, what a great idea.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't know, man. If I was in the background, I'd be like, I mean, I know we're in the future.
Yeah.
I know we're in a post-scarcity world in the future, but radioactive waste is still bad, right?
Yeah, right.
Like
nobody light their cigarettes right now. Yeah, pouring radioactive waste in the vents.
Exactly. Don't get too close to the vents, gang.
Red alert on the vents.
So now they're saying this is where they say, look, you can't. Spock says, I've gone through. We've shot the thing with phasers. I scrubbed the tapes from the Farragut. There's nothing you could have done back then, Kirk. It wouldn't have mattered if you did shoot it. Right? It wouldn't have fucking mattered, dude. So just relax. It's not.
According to his calculations.
And Garrick couldn't have done anything either.
Yeah, or Garrick, yeah. And then Kirk is like, look, spare your analytics, Spock. Tell it to somebody that needs it. And he walks out and he's like, well, I mean, I guess I know
I
one
can
person.
Do that.
Yeah.
So then he goes to Garrick and
Garrick's pretty sad.
Spock is talking to Garrick. I would like you to consider that the hesitation for which you are blaming yourself is hereditary trait of your species. So
seriously.
He should have opened with nothing
Humans
you could have done.
Bitches.
He should have opened with nothing you could have done would have made a difference. But he chooses to open with your species is genetically inferior,
and they're guilty all the time.
Yeah, and they're scared.
They're little wussies, no big deal. It's all right. It's not your fault. Oh my gosh, you know what's funny? I was watching Good Will Hunting the other day.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
That's something I reference all the time.
Gosh.
As Spock is trying to comfort Garvik,
this part's hilarious.
the mist starts coming out of a vent. Oh my god!
The very vent that he hit with that fan,
with the bowl,
with the bowl,
the plate,
top
the
bowl
top
thing.
of the what
is that called? A cover, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lid.
Lid.
It's a room service lid, or like at a hospital where they have a little lid over your green and orange cubes.
Why did he throw it at that vent?
Because he was mad.
Yeah,
he was just frustrated. And he just happened to hit the only thing on the wall that he shouldn't hit.
Yeah.
And then Spock tries to flip.
Later.
Spock tries to close the vent, and the switch just breaks off.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
So what does Spock do, Al?
He's like, stand back, I'll try to cover it. And he just smacks his two big hands on the vent.
He tries to cover the vent with his big, dumb Vulcan
why
hands.
Doesn't he just move some furniture? Maybe put a shelf up, smother it with a pillow.
Just smother it with a pillow.
And then it just starts seeping through his fucking fingers, and it's in his face, and it's like, dun, 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 cuts the commercial. Garvik's like, oh my god, he's fucked.
Yeah, Garvik calls everybody in and says, the thing's in my quarters. Spock's in there with it, and then Spock comes out. Spock comes out and says, fortunately, I'm not dead. And Kirk's like, why aren't you dead? And Spock says, my hemoglobin is based on copper, not iron.
No, but Kirk's like, excuse the morbid question, but why aren't you dead, Spock?
Yeah. Why aren't you dead, you big green-blooded fucking goofball?
Idiot. Yeah, and I mean, I get your whole racism thing with Bones. He's like, it's because of his pointy ears, that's why. You know, it's like,
it's because of his blood. Goddamn...
Vulcan, different.
Goddamn Vulcan blood.
Is not human-like.
And so he smells...
Weird.
Kirk's is like, oh, this smells different.
Oh, and Bones goes, to put in lighter terms, too, I guess the cloud got kind of sick from... He got a bad taste in its mouth.
Yeah,
it's like,
and that's why it smells weird.
Did you really have to do that?
He's like, it's shit weird. Let's see
that's
here.
Because of the copper, though.
Basically, this is where Kirk is talking to Garvik, and they both are like, there's nothing we could have done.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of this, like, healing closure, I guess, for both of them.
Yep, they have a tender moment, and
honestly,
Spock,
it wouldn't have made no difference.
Yep, or not Spock, but Kirk and Garvik come to the conclusion that no weapon would have made any difference when either of them fought it. And so, yeah, it would have just ducked no matter what
seriously.
you did.
It's smoke.
So now the thing leaves. They think that the flushing radioactive waste through the vents flushed the mist out into space. So they're like, oh, okay, great. But now they've got to follow it. And it seems like Kirk thinks it's going back to Tycho 4, where he found it, right? Mm-hmm. And so he contacts the ship that's going to meet them to get the vaccines. And he says, come to Tycho 4, we'll meet you there after we take care of this thing, basically. Which is weird, like, come to where this super dangerous fucking thing is.
No, and they're still delaying the vaccines, too.
But I think,
I think at this point the bridge is on, like, they're all agreeing, like, yeah, this cloud's going to kill us. I mean, it won't matter. The vaccine won't matter if we die, you know?
Well, the cloud is gone.
All irrelevant.
They're chasing, they could have just let the cloud go again.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did the reverse suction.
This is where it's so fucked up, man, because Kirk says it's going home.
Right. Let's chase it.
And it's going home to reproduce. Where does he get that from?
I don't know. He's lost his mind.
No, but Spock agrees with him. And Spock says, and because it's the type of entity that it is, it's not just going to reproduce by fucking and make a couple of spawn. It's going to reproduce exponentially, and then all of these mist vampires will go out, and then they'll all reproduce exponentially. Dun, dun, dun. Where are they getting any of that from?
Maybe it's just a wave of paranoia that went among this ship.
Maybe, but so basically they're flying to meet this mother. They're chasing. Reproducced by fission.
Not just 2 parts, but thousands.
Yeah, it's not just gonna hump and be done with it. And so what they're going to do is they're going to make an antimatter bomb.
Yes.
With 1 ounce of antimatter, which is enough to blow up the atmosphere of half the planet.
Yeah, and it'll fuck up and send out shockwaves too to the Enterprise. But it's funny too because Kirk turns to Garvik and he's like, "Tell the medical office that we need as much hemoglobin in a can as possible." And he's like, blood, I guess. All right.
And they specifically say. When the shockwaves of the explosion are out,
yes,
if anybody's transporting from the planet, they could die.
It's like them basically laying
setting it up like later. There's going to be some planetary transporting happen.
Well, I mean, it would have been I guess that's the way they lay it out. I guess I remember what you always tell me too is that if any character lays out a plan, it's always going to go wrong.
Yes.
And here they kind of just tell, this is how it's going to go wrong, so we hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
this is our only shot at this.
The conventional storytelling wisdom is if the characters tell you, the audience, the plan, it's going to go wrong. If they don't tell you, the audience, the plan, it means that you're going to think the plan went wrong, but it actually was the plan all along.
Or they retroactively say it.
Yeah, well, I mean, retroactively. That's how all those Oceans movies work. So basically, Spock is saying, I should be the one that goes down to plant the gravity bomb, or the antimatter bomb. Kirk says, no, I'm going to fucking do it because I would need you on the ship to make the good decisions.
Just in case shit hits the fan, yeah. And then
Garvik says he's going to go with.
And he's like, oh, yeah, of course.
They literally have a giant jar of blood.
Yeah.
So they have a giant jar of blood, and they're going to open the top and come and get it.
And this scene just doesn't make sense to me. You kind of skip forward, but like as soon as they transport down to the planet, their logic, right, with the bomb is that Kirk's like, well, you'll need 2 people to move this, right? And Garvik is like, yeah, I'll go with you. And he's like, oh, of course. Yeah. And then as soon as they land, Garvik takes his hands off of it and turns to the left to put the blood down. And like, Kirk is just holding it. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
Well,
whatever.
It's supposed to be a cool effect.
They gotta move it, right?
It's an antimatter thing, right. So it floats. Like, that's what they're saying.
But they don't want to, maybe it can't move without 2 people holding it. Who knows? Whatever. They both got to take it. But as soon as they, settle, the mist immediately returns.
The mist eats the blood.
Yep.
And no, they're on Tycho. They're on Tycho 4 now.
Right.
So the bait is gone, and Kirk says, Garvik, you go back to the ship. I'm going to detonate the bomb. And then Garvik karate chops him to try and be a hero.
Yeah, he's like, get back to the ship.
Kirk fights him and says, now's not the time for. And Kirk even explains, I wasn't going to fucking sacrifice myself, you dunderhead. I get what you thought, but I'm working on this here.
Yeah, Jesus.
At least I'm not going to sacrifice myself, at least not yet. So they get the transporter to lock on them. They wait until the cloud is just about to suck their blood. They energize and detonate. So they energize and they detonate.
But then there's the drama, right? As soon as they blow up the antimatter thing, Chekhov.
The shockwaves.
Yeah, the Chekhov tells in and says, all decks stand by, shockwaves, and the ship just rattles.
And so we're in the transporter room.
Right.
We've got Scotty, I almost said the Vulcan. We've got Scotty, Spock, and Bones, and they're trying to get a lock on Kirk. And
one of the good lines is Bones is like, do something. And Spock's like, we are, Doctor.
Yeah, don't you see me pushing dials?
Yeah, he's he's got to revert them to, he reroutes the power to the B slot or whatever. Cross circuits to B.
So Spock cross circuits to B.
And Bones is complaining about transportation once again.
Yeah, Bones is like, we shouldn't be spreading our molecular. I thought for sure Garvik was going to die.
I was like, this is weird.
My wife even came in at the end of this when Kirk was on the planet with Garvik, and she was like, oh, that guy's going to die for sure. And I was like, I bet, red shirt. But he made it to the end.
Oh, and also, like, I was thinking back to the movie again where, like, those people come back as, like, those fucked up figures and they're screaming bloody murder.
Oh, my gosh.
Like,
the Cronenbergs.
Yeah, I was like, is this going to happen? But no, of course.
So
they're okay.
Yeah, Kirk and Ensign Garvik both make it back, and this is funny because Bones says, "Oh, thank God," and Spock says, "God had nothing to do with it. It was because I cross-circuited to B that saved them."
Oh God! And then Bones goes, "Oh, think pointy ears and a pitchfork."
Yeah,
Think
thank pitchforks and pointed ears.
Yeah,
you
Jesus,
devil motherfucker.
You look funny.
You look like a devil. Have I told you that before, Spock? That I think you look like the evilest thing in my religion.
Yeah, right.
And he says, rendezvous with the Yorktown is the ship. Rendezvous with
Finally.
the Yorktown Maximum Warp. They're going to get the vaccines. Everything's fine.
Yeah, and then he's like, Garavik, come to my quarters.
And I'll tell you stories about your dead pappy.
Let's reminisce. And he's like, okay.
And
then
so,
it just ends.
And a great shot of the ship.
Yeah.
So I really like this episode.
Why?
Because I love when, like I said at the top, and I wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for what I was going to say afterwards. So basically, I like when something from Kirk's past is relevant to the story because it makes you think that there was something other than what we're seeing. You know, it like really fleshes out the history of the characters. Like that episode where Bones's ex-girlfriend, where they're going down to a planet where Bones used to know the lady that's down there. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, like, or in the next episode, they reference how Scotty was in an explosion before the episode. You know, it just adds this dimensionality to the characters.
Bigger, yeah.
That I don't think you get otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, what is it? It's continuity. They have some continuity.
Well,
here.
yeah,
you don't see it happening, but you see.
It's like character. It's character background, character development stuff.
That's true.
But one thing that I find interesting about this is that Kirk just ends up being right, and it's fine.
It's extremely lucky. It's
so tense when Spock and Bones confront him. There's that's like a screenwrite. That's a good bit of screenwriting.
Well, that's always when the best parts happen to any three of them.
It's a reversal. So in screenwriting, like in scenes where a reversal happens, that's good. It's like interesting to the audience, right? So that scene opens, and because we've seen it before, Kirk goes crazy or something happens, and they're going to relieve him of command.
It feels like an Ace Attorney kind of vibe, where like they're both going back and forth. I need to play that.
And so you expect them to try and remove him from command, and that is what's going to happen.
He's like, objection.
but Kirk says, look, I get how it looks, but think about it this way. What if this mist monster gets out to other planets? So
he's like, my man, that's a lot of ifs, though.
So I like it with the but of I don't like that they don't really cover the coincidence of it all.
Yeah, they don't reach in the depths of that.
They don't say, like, isn't it weird that Kirk, of all people, like, space is a big fucking place, right? Like, isn't it strange that Kirk would run into the same monster?
Here's how I would have done it then. If you're trying to argue with that, I definitely agree with you. I think maybe they could have focused more. All three ensigns die, right, at the beginning immediately, so they can't get any information out of the third guy. Because that consciousness scene is, I get it, whatever. He's, like, pushing his bounds. But maybe they could have gotten, like, someone else that was on the ship or one of the 200 that didn't die to, like, maybe, validate that attack or maybe call in or something. Or maybe, like, it focused more on them dissecting his BS intuition. Like, maybe they do believe him in the quarters or in his quarters, and then they leave and they're like, okay, he's fucking crazy. Like, he thinks his intuition is leading him. We need to get someone to back up his story or, like, maybe validate what the hell's going on. Because from the jump, Kirk tells them what the record is.
He's like, go get the tapes.
What date, you know?
So there's
I mean, I guess they kind of bring that up, but it's like, I don't know. There's a lot that happens too.
I just think it's so strange that the coincidence of it all.
Yeah, that would have helped if somebody else was like, well, maybe it is.
Or for a specific reason, because there's like quantum gravitational entanglement with maybe there's another crew member on the ship that was also there 11 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like the quantum entanglement pulls them together. Whatever. It was great. I liked it a lot. What did you think?
I think it's a lot of it is spent on the bridge, so I think you like that aspect of it. I agree with you though. I think like I liked the episode, but it was kind of BS to me that he was just like, it's intuition, and I think we'll hold off on those vaccines until other time. You know, I think that kind of made it worse, but I don't know. I think they're getting better these episodes because they're kind of getting a groove of the three of them, the Spock, Kirk, and Bones all together, and that they're kind of trying to focus more. And that you're right, it does expand the whole world, the lore of it, with Kirk being, you know, reminiscent of the last thing. And it was healthy, too, how they got closure in the end, Garevik and Kirk. I really like that interaction at the end where he's like, look, it's not your fault. Literally, it wasn't your fault because no matter what we would have done, it would have killed them anyway. So, I don't know. It's just, what's it called? I guess out of all the com badges, I guess I give it like maybe a 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah, this was like a pretty down the middle episode, you know? It wasn't like, whoa, this is insane. Compared to the, you know, one that we after this.
I give it a 4. Yeah. Because I like the Kirk's past stuff so much. And just because it does have that emotional complexity, and there is a lot of like good little screenwriting tricks that the writer, who actually this episode was written by Gene Roddenberry too.
Oh, really?
So it really makes sense that it's like one of the good ones. It's interesting that you give it a 3.5 because the IMDb fan rating for this out of 3.1 thousand ratings is a 7.2 out of 10.
Wow.
So they kind of agreed with you. 7.2 is basically the 3.5 of a 100-point system. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And that, and we didn't really get in. There's a lot of good guest stars. We didn't get into the guest stars, but there was good ones.
I guess those are the ensigns then, right? The guest stars?
Yeah, the Garevik, the guy who played Garevik, Lieutenant Leslie... Rizzo, Jerry Ayres, gosh, that guy with the red head. Stephen Brooks played Ensign Garevik. Let's see what else Stephen Brooks did around this time.
The compendium is talking about how it's ripping Spock apart in this episode. And I do kind of tend to agree. Look, Spock is somewhat out of character at several points in this episode. Point 1, he betrays an emotional concern for the well-being of Ensign Garevik, though he is useless as a psychiatrist because he cannot admit to having feelings. Well, who is he to walk around talking to people about... I guess they kind of set it up with the whole analytical thing, right? Where he's like, it's a human emotion. We both talked about that,
Garevik even says, "Oh, are you expressing kindness?" And Spock says, "No, kindness is a
he's
human
just trait."
Fuck you. What's Asherton?
Alan
fuck that guy, dude. No, Alan. Fuck you, man.
No, he kind of rips these people apart.
Fuck you, dude. But you don't get Spock.
No. But I agree with this part though. He goes, when the creature makes an unscrupulated appearance through the vent of Garevik's quarters, when the ensign which the ensign has accidentally left open, Spock stays behind to perform one of the most illogical acts of his career. I was like, dang. But yeah, of course, with this whole copper-based blood thing, I guess remember, he doesn't go blind in Operation Annihilate either because of his Vulcan blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where Spock's
and also
Vulcan
in the man
blood.
trap.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where Spock's Vulcan blood helps him out. This guy who played Garevik wasn't really in a ton of stuff.
But that was it.
Yeah, the compendium had a lot to say about Spock
ripped.
that time.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the heck? I get it, but still.
This guy was on... this guy who played Garevik was... Stephen Brooks was on 100... He died in 1999, R.I.P.
Wow,
he was on 194 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Whoa,
the NBC soap opera from 1980 to... Well, yeah, you say 194 episodes. That's many.
No, my dad loves the lore of like how long that's going.
And my mom was the Days of Our Lives person too. So 1980 to 1981.
It's still going, though, isn't it, right?
Yeah. 100. I actually watched a scene on Hulu and it looks really weird. The cameras that they use for it now, the HD soap opera cameras, it's very strange.
Okay.
But so this guy was able to do 194 episodes in a year.
Holy shit.
That's how many episodes they do.
Dude. Think about how they record it and edit it and put it out in time and all that.
They shoot an episode a day.
In the 80s.
They always have.
True.
It's just video, but yeah, they just do one take.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all just one take, shot sequentially.
Yeah, right.
It's fucking crazy. It's wild because I read a bunch about soap opera production during the strike because soap opera writers are covered under a different type of agreement.
Oh, okay.
So technically
that's
the soap
nice.
operas were still working. Yeah, it was fascinating to learn about that. But yeah, so that's Obsession. And
yes, Obsession.
I also like stories about an obsessed captain. While we were pre-gaming before this episode, we watched the episode of Futurama where they follow the 4D whale, and Leela gets obsessed with her delivery and fighting the whale, and it's like the Moby Dick thing. And I like it when Kirk and it's kind of like when he was obsessed with finding out if it was actually Kodos in The Conscience of the King.
Seriously. It was cool, this whole obsession line
good
of like
stuff.
It felt more organic than like the Deadly Years, where they took forever to just go after Kirk and prosecute him. Maybe they felt bad.
Well, they were also getting old too.
Well, no, but just the senior officers.
Yeah,
were
the
getting
Commodore.
Old. It wasn't really stat spread.
And the
right?
Commodore
and
wasn't getting old. Yeah,
that's true. The Commodore is reckless. That was a pretty funny episode, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, with this episode, I don't know. I just felt like it was really well rounded, but the cloud effects were funny too. So
yeah, and this is a good one to watch the side by sides for the special effects on YouTube, because you really see the planets that they. I love how the remastering of this series was basically like adding planets. Like they just put planets like every shot, because every shot back in the day didn't have a planet, and now they pretty much all have a planet. And I love it. It's great. But that's Obsession. Mm-hmm. And next week we're going to be talking about
the Wolf in the Fold, right?
A Wolf in the Fold, which is
it's a
very
pretty cool
good
title.
Oh, so the Wolf in the Fold, man, y'all have to come back for that episode, because it is
that one's really good. Yeah,
where it goes in Act 3 is I never would have thought.
I know.
Oh my god! But yeah, so
it does pop off.
So thanks for listening. Oh wait, no, we got to recommend
it. Go ahead. You go first.
So I don't know. I think I've recommended this before, but I'm really digging it now, and I got to remind people. I subscribe to something called CBB World. Which is so Comedy Bang Bang is this podcast, and it was a television show for a while hosted by this guy Scott Aukerman. It was on Earwolf for a long time, and then a couple years ago they launched CBB World, and it's just like the best $8 a month that I spend. You get ad-free episodes of Comedy Bang Bang. You get all this fucking all these other shows like and Paul F. Tompkins. Basically, I'm recommending this show called The Neighborhood Listen. It's on CBB World. You get ad-free episodes of it. It's basically Paul F. Tompkins and this other comedian who I want to find here. So it's Paul F. Tompkins and oh my god, why don't they just have it listed here? No, not that. She's the guest.
One. Oh yeah, I see that.
But basically, it's Paul F. Tompkins and a co-host, and they are they do like it's like what's the neighborhood app that everybody uses? Nextdoor.
Nextdoor, yeah.
So it's basically like they play characters in this town of Dignity Falls, and Dignity Falls is just a small town community, and they read actual Nextdoor listings.
Yeah,
but they have and then they have an improviser come on and play one of the characters from the listing.
Oh,
and then they interview them about their listing, or maybe they're the person that's being listed about.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking funny.
Maybe click more right there.
They have tons.
Did that come out with anything?
Right here?
Oh no, above it, the letters.
Oh, the letter more.
Yeah.
Oh, or it says more. No, it just doesn't. Just go to find out The Neighborhood Listen. There's a bunch of past seasons, and it's just great. It's so funny, and they do such a great job. And basically, these are all improvisers that have been around doing stuff forever. Okay, there it is, Nicole Parker. There
we go.
And they have and Paul F. Tompkins' character is Burnt Millipede. Burnt Millipede. And she's Joan Pedestrian, played by Nicole Parker.
Yeah.
He's a pharmacist at a CVS, and she is the big shot local real realtor.
All right.
And Brett Morris, the producer, plays her husband. But this is just one of the shows that's on CBB World.
Yeah.
And if you like improvised comedy, everybody like that's the up and coming like comedians that are in all the new comedy movies and shit are guests on these shows. So
Weird.
check it out,
All
CBB
right.
World. And just in general, listen to Comedy Bang Bang and all the free versions of the shows and just fast forward through the fucking ads. But that's my recommendation.
Yeah, dude,
Bunch of good comedy.
It's gotten pretty like intense and crazy. That sounds like really, what is it? It's like a whole story that they can make episodes off of, you know?
Yeah.
But
And
I mean, the podcast feels a lot smoother. I feel like they could, what is it? Have guests, 1, 2, hone out better ideas and practice bits and shit too.
Yeah, dude. And then like those characters will also be on
Like,
Comedy
churn 'em
Bang
out.
Bang and there's a show called CBB Presents where they have like Bobby Moynihan. It plays the Batman
Oh,
on a
okay.
show called his podcast is called Who Me, and he plays a character called the Batman where he's like all versions of Batman, and
Yeah.
they have an improviser on to play a Batman villain or another Batman character
Jesus.
every week that he interviews.
Yeah.
And it's really loose, like it's very satirical, it's very loose, like they reference that they're not the characters all the time, but that's really funny. There's a show called Hey Randy that's one of the dudes on Righteous Gemstones stars in, and yeah, it's good stuff. CBB
Okay.
World. What about you, Al? What should people
Let's
be
see,
listening to or watching?
Listening. Well, I've just been hearing more things. New DJ Premier and Common Song. They did a little beat song together.
Oh.
It was pretty good, yeah. But this felt like an expansion week because I do want to save some recommendations for the other episode. But expansion in the sense of like one released more music on an album, and then the other one for their anniversary took off a track. So Daft Punk released RAM, right? Random Access Memories. I don't know if you know that one. 2013.
Yeah.
Banger.
Yeah.
They re-released it drumless edition. No drums. It's just all the tracks. And some people were like, I love it, and I do, because I mean, I'm a big fanboy, but also it's like, it's not exact. It's a completely different listening experience. You know,
I'm
it
sure.
doesn't obviously hit as hard, especially the singles. Like, Get Lucky or like Lose Yourself to Dance. That depends on like a kick and a snare to get kind of the rhythm going.
Well,
But the
did they-
more introspective ones are good.
Did they release that so people could put their own drums on it?
Well, yeah, of course. Or like remixing or like maybe sampling and stuff. That's what everyone has come to good conclusion to. But it's like, once we see someone do it and try to make money, like maybe we'll see that collision happen, or maybe we'll see remixes come out, an official remix album. Like, who knows?
It's very
They can make as much
interesting.
money as they want, obviously, because people are still listening to it. But speaking of people that are like stupid giant, Drake released his album again it's called Scary Hours Edition. I don't even know what that's about. But he put like 4 or 5 more songs on it.
I saw he
single with
released
J.
some
Cole,
EP.
too.
I thought
He just smacked an EP on the back of like his current album, so it's like he's recycling the listens, which a
That's-
lot of people do, which
that's
is
not how-
super annoying.
That's not how EPs work,
Dude, and I
Drake.
hate, like,
Release an
just-
EP
yeah,
on its
split
own.
it. Yeah, exactly. Or,
MC
like,
Chris.
who
MC
cares?
Chris did that shit. MC Chris released EPs all
Do
the
you know
time. He didn't
another-
release Dungeon Master of
Yeah.
Ceremonies plus 5 tracks.
I
No.
don't mean to call some groups out. Obviously, they will not be
Call
named.
them out.
Yeah, screw it. There's like one group called Little Dragon, right? They're massive,
We have
right?
80 people listening. Call
They'll
them
spread
out.
the word.
Baby
But,
Dragon, fuck
what's-
you.
No, what's the thing that's so annoying though? It's great music, but I know what they're doing, right? And a couple of other bands do this too. But it's like for singles that they release, right? They're like new single EPs with different covers. But then say they release single 1, right? Single 2 would have the EP with the cover, but then it would be single 2 and single 1. And then they release single 3, but then it'd be single 3, single 2, single 1. So it's like, dude, just leave them separate. Like, we'll listen to them, or if
And
we want to
it's
hear
just-
them all, we'll just go
wow.
back on our likes. Like,
Man, what I
we
could-
get, it's like all this whole, it's all math of
What
just
I-
getting more streams, and it's like fucking tricky.
What
but it
I
makes
could
sense.
follow,
but still.
what I could follow of that, I did not like. I just wish people would just release things.
Yeah, like a
just release an
regular- it's
EP,
gotta be
release a
label
single,
stuff. Yeah.
release a single with a couple of B-sides, and then release another single. So they're just
But it's
adding
good
tracks to the thing so
that
that
they
you
already
listen
exist,
to the. Nah, fuck
right?
that.
Because once you shuffle them, it's
Lame.
like, oh, you'll just play the same songs again, which is kind of like this Daft Punk thing, where some people are like, "Damn, they're so broke that they just want to release a drumless thing, but
Bro,
it's like, who knows?
Daft Punk
right?
has more money than Jesus, dude. They've been on so many soundtracks.
So many things, too.
They've been on so many soundtracks. They've been on, and their albums are they're
still making money.
They could be like Jay Leno. Like Daft Punk probably still has money left just from the few performances they did.
I heard one guy actually works on still some music, and the other one's just really to himself too. So one guy has released like, I forgot what it is. He just released an orchestral album, like for a whole like Greek mythology thing. It was really kind of cerebral, I guess, the whole thing. Speaking of crazy shit too, though, Andre 3000, I heard his little flute album. Yeah,
did you listen to it?
Yeah, it was pretty introspective.
I haven't listened to it.
It's like kind of what you make. It's very what is it called? Relaxing, like, you know, Tai Chi kind of music. You're just settling
it's like kind of Eastern vibe.
Yeah, but it's like he makes really good atmospheric takes from these steady bass lines, and then like plays his flute over them, and it's all peaceful and tranquil. The titles of the songs are more interesting, but it is nice to have to listen to, and it's what is it? It's an expression of the heart. Like, you can't bash that.
Instrumental, right?
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to like putting that on when I'm writing or doing dishes or something. Yeah.
It's good. It's good to listen to. I'm not saying it's like terrible, but it's definitely different. And people obviously are begging for one thing, of course, but it's like that's the beauty of the age and time that we live in, where you can hear the artist obviously say his claims of what he wants and what he wants to do. And he's literally talking about it on the titles, right? It's like, y'all wanted a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me, you know? Like,
I am playing the flute instead of rapping.
Exactly. This is from my heart.
The first track is, I will not be rapping, I am playing the flute.
Yeah, seriously. Each track is like 12 minutes. It really takes its time.
Wow,
you know,
like
there's a lot of tension and release and just like a lot of breathing. I feel like you can do yoga with an album, you know, do your chores, do dishes.
I'm hearing what it sounds like in my head, I think. Yeah.
It's very peaceful. But yes, that's what I'd recommend. Andre 3000, not Drake, Daft Punk.
Daft Punk, no drums. Fuck you, Drake, you piece of shit.
Just separate EPs.
Next week we're talking about A Wolf in the Fold.
Yes.
Listen to the bumper, do all the stuff. It really helps us if you rate and review. I know the bumper says that too, but when you rate and review us, when people search for Star Trek, there's a chance we will show up in the first 100. Woo. And that would be great.
Yes, that is true.
But we need like 1,000 reviews. So get in there and do it. And thanks so much. Have a great week.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hirt. Theme song by Al Hirt. Recorded by Adam. Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials. And you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.